All right, so let me start over. Welcome to the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. Today is August the 16th, 2024. We have a special guest speaker today with Patty Basche, and she's going to talk about Crystal Knows and how we can use that to help us in our job search. So it's a really good session. Be glad for you to participate and help. We can do some engagement, do some participation today with Patty. So glad to have her along. So note that this event is being recorded. You can see our prior sessions on the Career USA YouTube channel. And by participating in this event, you give consent for us to use your name and picture to appear. This is a Jeff Morris founded group, and Jeff had a fall and had a brain injury. He is recovering from that brain injury today. Wish him well as he continues on his progress. And so Matt Keelan and I have volunteered to sit in the meantime to lead the group. So Jeff, he's been around a while in helping job seekers. There's a lot of people that know Jeff, but he has led this group since 2007. He created the DFW.org and the CareerUSA.org web pages for job seekers, and he wrote a book, What I Know About Your Job Search You May Not Know Something. And he's also been a member of the pit crew. So we wish Jeff well as he continues to recover. So our agenda today is going to be success stories. We'll do our 30-second introductions. We'll do the committee reports, the tip of the week, interview, success workshop, and the pit crew. And then we'll get to the main event where Patty will talk about Crystal Knows. So landings. We have anybody has landed that can announce? No landings today. Okay, anybody had a good interview or an interview that might wish to share with us? Bad interviews. Okay, we'll just move on then. So we're going to do our introductions today. So for those of you online, please write in the chat box your name, the city. We'd like to know what city you're in. So because we've got people from around the country outside of the DFW area, your LinkedIn and your email. I suggest you do both of those. What's your phone number? What's the position that you're looking for? And if you've got some target companies, list those. So put all that information in and then hit the return so that we have a record of that in the chat window. Okay, for those of you that are not finished, you may certainly continue to put that information in the chat window. Now we'll have some introductions from those that are present in the room at the Christ United Methodist Church here in Plano. So welcome.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Ball from Frisco, and I'm looking for a staff accountant or accounting consultant position. I've gone brain dead again. I can't remember what else I'm supposed to say. Yeah, accounting. Kimberly Ball.
Hi, Jason Millwright. Don't quite know. Okay, so what am I looking for? That's an excellent question. We don't have all day. Maybe something within training, communication, or graphic design, illustrator with emphasis on narrative. Let's see, what do I provide solutions for? Yeah. I don't lead a sales force. I guess I could provide solutions for if you are trying to craft narrative and do that in either a written or visual way. That is where I can provide a solution for you. I don't have target companies. I have contact at pass, you know, my name. Hang on. My name is Jason Milwright. Okay, perfect.
There you go. You made it.
Jason is new. He gets a bye. How you doing, Peter?
Doing good, thanks, Matt. Yeah. Good morning, everybody. My name is Peter Watson. I'm looking for project or services delivery management roles in high tech, previously in telecoms, but anything high tech or associated. I'm good at building customer relationships and finding where the real cause of their pain, not what they maybe tell you, which can be very different. I don't have any target companies I need contacts at immediately. I do have contacts at Tempest Telecom, which is a small telecom company, Verizon and Ericsson. Most of my contacts are Ericsson. And my name is Peter Watson.
All right. I think I'm centered. Good morning, everybody. My name is William McLaughlin. Currently seeking a data analyst role. I do help companies do research necessary in order to help them improve their bottom line. Looking for contacts at CoreLogic and the Container Store. My name is William McLaughlin.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Luis Torquates. I'm looking for a job in technical account manager or product management. I help them provide solutions in the telecommunication industry, looking for satisfy the customers and getting up all the objectives of the company, and looking for companies and internet service provider or any telecom like Verizon, AT&T, or again, my name is Luis Torquates.
Mitch Birchfield, been in IT for about 25 years. IT support, basic jack of all trades, master of none, PC tech, level 2, level 3 support, enterprise. Looking for something along the same vein. Don't really have any target companies or industries. To me, IT is IT no matter where you go. So just looking for a good company that I can contribute to. Mitch Birchfield.
There are several that you found. Damn.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Jama Ball. I'm looking for a director VP level of operations here in the DFW area. I'm an experienced operations executive who drives excellence by focusing on elevating the customer experience and optimizing service delivery and product implementation. I need contacts at Rippling and at American Airlines this week. I have contacts in the hospitality industry. My name is Jama Ball.
Thanks, Jamie. That was really good. Can I use her introduction? Everybody, I'm Steve Sulkin. I'm an organizational psychologist, and I also have a Lean Six Sigma Black Belt. I help people work together better. I can help with contacts at Baylor Scott and White Health, and I'm looking for contacts at Children's Health. My name is Steve Sulkin.
Thank you, Steve. You got it. Here. Yep, you're on.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Phil Elsner. I'm a PMP Credential Project Manager with lots of years in IT and broadcasting. My interest is medical and would love to be doing some project management work here in the North Dallas, Richardson, Plano, Frisco area for a medical organization that's still in business. I'm Phil Elsner.
That's okay. We got one more.
Well, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Good morning, Matt Keelan. I'm an IT VP or director. I help companies spend their technology dollars wisely, and I keep hacking out. I can need contacts at Caterpillar and Toyota, and I can help with Cherry Becker and Grant Thornton. Matt Keelan. We got one more in the room. Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, everyone.
Turn around. You need to be in the camera.
I need to be on the camera. Oh my God, y'all didn't tell me I was gonna be on the camera. Okay, my name is Mary Ann Simmons. I'm looking for a senior business analyst position in IT. I act as a liaison between the business and IT to deliver software solutions that help companies meet their goals and objectives. For me, my skills are transferable. So basically, I don't need contacts at any company, any company who's looking for a senior business analyst. I can pretty much learn almost any domain. That's just what I do. So, my name is Mary Ann Simmons. Thank you.
That covers the room, does it not? Okay, for those of you online, we'll have introductions online. Matt's going to generally run this. He's busy over there. So Patty, why don't we start with you?
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Patty Basche. I'm looking for account director, senior customer success manager, working at a marketing research company. I help companies build relationships with their clients and increase the top line sales. I need contacts at Ipsos, Mintel, and Sago, and I have contacts at Nielsen and Kantar. I'm Patty Basche.
Okay, Steve. Steve Rowe.
Hi, my name is Steve Rowan. I'm a retired .NET developer. I keep coming to these meetings because there's lots of interesting information to hear every week. So my name is Steve Rowan.
Keisha.
Good morning, Alkeisha Rodriguez. I'm a technical implementation project manager. Mouthful. My target companies fluctuate, but right now I'm taking classes for Salesforce, and I'm every engineer's favorite project manager, Alkeisha Rodriguez.
Thanks, Alkeisha. Anthony.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Anthony Autry. I am a senior retail manager / merchandising operationist. I help company drive sales, grow profit, at the same time reduce costs. Anthony Autry.
Thank you, Anthony. Scott.
Yes, my name is Scott Maker. I'm currently in career transition. I'm looking to transition away from education into the IT field, and I'm currently taking training in cybersecurity and data analytics. So I'm looking for a position like a cybersecurity analyst or like a database analyst or software developer. Those are my target fields that I'm interested in pursuing. And I have problem solving and analytical skills, which will be an asset to the company. My name is Scott Maker.
Thank you, Scott. Etienne.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Etienne Joseph, and I live in Dallas, Texas. I'm a campus recruiting manager. I have campus recruiting and university relations experience in manufacturing, healthcare, consumer products, and technologies industries. I help companies build their early career talent pipelines to improve their diversity and bench strength across all functions. I developed and implemented a strategy change which led to a 30% increase in female hires for a leadership development program. I'm currently looking in the DFW market, looking for contacts at Dapper Labs, AT&T, and Jacobs Engineering, and I have contacts at Workday, Intuit, and IBM. My name is Etienne Joseph.
Thank you, sir. Dan.
Good morning, Dan Morton. I'm a strategic product management and multifunctional tech executive looking for my next role. I have a 20+ year track record of building strategies for and solving extremely complex consumer scale problems, mostly that cross digital and physical boundaries and lead to growth. I'm targeting corporate verticals of hospitality, consumer technology, and media, and exploring consulting type roles as well with consulting organizations. In Frisco, Texas, looking to be local to DFW or remote or travel-based roles are okay as well, but not moving for at least a year.
Thank you. Diane.
Hi, I'm Diane Bednar. I am looking for a role as a director of retail stores. I'm in the DFW area, and I help companies maximize their revenue within the stores. Thank you. My name is Diane Bednar.
Thanks, Diane. Kelsey. Hello, Kelsey. Well, let's go to Enoch. Lauren. Lauren? You out there, Lauren?
Enoch.
Let's go to Enoch.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everybody. My name is Enoch Betterplace. I'm a senior software developer specializing in Android. I connect your company to your client through their Android device. My name is Enoch Betterplace. Oh, I am in Flint, Texas.
Rosina.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Rosina Gallman, and I'm your Career Tip of the Week host. I'll be talking to you in just a few more minutes. Well, I am a senior talent acquisition consultant, otherwise known as a senior recruiter, and I help companies find the right talent to fill their roles. So this week, I'm currently looking at needing contacts at Delta Dental, MetLife, and Cigna. Yet I am open to other industry possibilities. So if you have any, I'm open to receiving them. If there's any contacts that you're looking for at companies I've worked for, I will definitely reach out directly to the people that I hear those companies advertise at. Again, my name is Rosina Gallman, Senior Talent Acquisition Consultant, or otherwise known as a Senior Recruiter.
Thank you, Rosina. We'll hear from you shortly. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. Scott Boudreau, Certified Planning Inventory Management. Looking for a supply chain job specializing in inventory control or production planning. If it has a part number, I can manage it. If it doesn't, I'll create one. Scott Boudreau.
Thank you, Scott. Lauren, are you there? Okay. Anybody I missed? Okay. Come on down.
Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Ralph James, sales manager, finance manager. Looking to make a difference, contracting, negotiations. Ralph James. Good to see you, Ralph. Good to see you.
Okay, anybody else online? All right, well, we'll move on. So, Rosina, it's time for our career tip of the week.
Yes, sir. Thank you. All right. Again, everybody, my name is Rosina Gallman, and I have been bringing to you career tips of the week for July and August on a series where I'm basically looking at helping you to polish up your bullets for accomplishments and achievements on your resumes and preparing for interviews so that you can speak to things that you've achieved and accomplished and how you can bring value to the employer. So to continue on that thread, this week, we're going to be talking about how to quantify resume bullet points. So what does it mean to quantify your resume? Quantifying the bullet points on a resume means linking numbers to each item, job duty, or accomplishment. Quantifying a resume may look different depending upon the job type and the field. So the importance of quantifying bullet points. There's a couple of points that I want to bring up. One would be resume effectiveness. Next would be quantifying accomplishments. And then the third would be focus on impact. So when talking about resume effectiveness, quantifying bullet points, they're more impactful than just paragraphs for highlighting experience concisely. When you quantify your accomplishments, you're using numbers to showcase the achievements, it increases your credibility, and it makes a resume stand out to the results-oriented employers. And then as far as focusing on impact, rather than simply listing job duties, emphasize those accomplishments and their measurable results. Now, how to quantify your resume? You want to identify key performance indicators. So that means you want to connect accomplishments to metrics that demonstrate impact. You want to use a structured approach where you employ a formula like action verb plus task plus result for crafting your effective bullet point. You want to leverage the PAR framework. And PAR, if you don't already know, it's the problem, the action that you took, and then the result. So you want to analyze each bullet point by considering the problem addressed, the actions taken, and the results achieved. You want to choose impactful metrics. Focus on numbers that directly correlate with job success and company goals. You want to provide context. Explain how quantified achievements contributed to overall business objectives. And then you want to showcase growth. Highlight increases in performance over time to demonstrate progress. Now, an example of a strong quantified bullet point would be, this one's a weak one. It's where I wrote and published articles for the company's marketing blog. Or a stronger bullet point would be, published 10 to 15 pieces of detailed sales-focused content each month for Pulse, the company marketing blog, and increased readership by 45% year over year. So that's a better way of actually creating your bullets. And that's what a lot of the different tips and guides have been teaching you, or at least showcasing. Now, as far as quantifying elements, what are some of the things that you can quantify? Some of the most popular would be sales figures, number of tasks completed, number of products or services sold, number of team members that have been mentored, increases in readership, number of contract renewals, time spent on projects, and money saved on processes. So, tips for success. You want to track accomplishments, such as maintain records of achievements and data points. You want to use ranges where necessary, so provide estimated figures if exact numbers are unavailable. Or you also want to consider the confidentiality of the information that you'd be providing as well from your previous employers. So just be careful on that. I know one of the articles spoke specifically to confidentiality. You want to align metrics with your job requirements. So showcase relevant data for the targeted position that you're applying to or interviewing for. And then you want to prepare to elaborate. Be ready to discuss quantified achievements in detail during interviews. So when quantifying bullet points on a resume, the chief role is to always prepare to speak further to each one in an interview setting. If someone says they raised conversion rates or drove additional revenue, for example, they should be able to speak to the processes behind it. Choose bullet points that sound impressive, but do not accurately reflect their experiences, has sunk many candidates. So many candidates' chances for a job. So focus on quantifiable bullet points that you can back up, and especially where success can happen. Some of the top takeaways would be using bullet points on resumes can help narrow the focus to each job's essential accomplishment. Using numbers to help add credibility to bullet points and show results. And then replace prepare to add context to any bullet point, including speaking to them intellectually during an interview. So to wrap this thing up, basically, by incorporating quantifiable bullet points into your resume, you can effectively demonstrate your value to potential employers and increase your chances of landing a job. Remember to focus on achievements, use specific numbers, and prepare to discuss your results in detail during an interview. I hope you guys enjoy this particular article, and we'll continue on through the month of August in quantifying resumes, results, bullet points, accomplishments, achievements, all those good things. So have yourself a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to seeing you guys next Friday.
Thank you, Rosina. Just a note for those of you online that have put your email address in the chat window, and for those who have legibly signed in with their email address on a piece of paper, you will get a copy of the article. Matt will send that out following the meeting today. Let me talk a little bit about the interview success workshop. In a previous session, I had a person say, well, I understand here what you're doing. We had done the workshop, and at the end of it, he says, you're actually presenting a framework and a way, and we can think about the whole interview. And I said, exactly right. What is that framework? The objective of the workshop is to move us from a responsive only mindset to a selling response mindset, because we're selling ourselves. And so in 2020, I developed this model after I really screwed up an interview. So it came along to saying, well, people are buying who we are, what we do, and how we can help them. How we combine the first two in order to achieve the third. So the workshop is very informal. It is a learning interview. It is not a mock interview. You have to be registered to attend. There's my banner page. You can look me up on LinkedIn on the Walk class. Please look at the About section. It gives you details about the workshop and how it's processed and how we do it. So it's very informal. We want to focus on learning, put our learning head in. There's no need for us to have pressure and, stress while we're just trying to learn. So I call it learning without squirming. Get out of the interview rat race. Consider the interviews we face. It's practicing where we learn, and jobless days we will burn. If you want to send to get a registration to the workshop, just there's a QR code. Edit a couple of things on an email to send to me to get registered. I usually do it on Tuesdays from 9 to 11 Central online on Zoom. Be glad to have you participate. Matt, tell us about the pit crew.
Would love to, Walt. The pit crew meets every Wednesday. On the fourth Wednesday of the month, they are online so that we can help people throughout the United States. Every other Wednesday of the month, we do meet in person in this room, and there is no online option. So please come, and we recommend that you come a few times and observe and someone else being interviewed. We do 3 per week, and observing, you can learn a heck of a lot. Hearing the questions that are being asked, and of course with those answers, and those interviewers or interviewees get immediate feedback from both the panelists and from the people in the room, which is great. And after you observe a few, we invite you to send an email to dallaspitcrew@gmail.com and sign up. We are booked out through about mid-September. So if you do want to do that, get on the list early and often, and you can come as many times as you want, and it is absolutely free. I highly recommend it. I've been through it myself. Both Walt and I are panelists there, so please come see us.
Thank you, Matt. So let's get to the main event and listen to Patty Basche talk about crystal nose. Patty sent me a bio list, and she's got lots of experience. She listed about, I don't know how many companies that we almost all know about that she has worked for and worked with on that, including like General Mills, Coke, Kimberly-Clark, Nestle. Now, I would like to have contacts at Nestle, Procter & Gamble, Tillamook, Unilever. Okay, so she's also worked with retailers, CVS, Rite Aid, Walgreens, Publix. So lots of the experience working with marketing research for helping out these companies. She has a BS degree from Illinois State and an international business and a Master of International Management degree from Thunderbird. If you've heard of Thunderbird, that's a great school. She also speaks German, so was ist los, eh? Anyway,
Without the A, I think that's more Canadian.
that's a Canadian German, okay? All right, but she's worked abroad in Switzerland and as an international business consultant for Nielsen. So she's looking for her next account management role. You heard her introduction in a marketing research company. She lives in Phoenix, where we cannot complain about the temperature here without her laughing at us. And so welcome, Patty.
Thanks, Walt. I really appreciate that introduction. I think I'll have to speak with you in German using some Canadian in it.
Canadian German.
Canadian German for sure. All right. So thank you everybody for having me today. I'm going to start to, I think you need to give me co-hosting, right? So that I can share, Walt. And I will share a couple of slides and then I will take us into Crystal Knows.
Done.
All right, thank you. All right, hold on 1 second, folks, while we get everything going here. And then let me know when you can see the slide. All right. So want to talk with everybody a little bit today about Crystal Knows, and some of you may have heard about it already. Some of you might not have heard about what it is. So I'll talk a little bit about its background, how it got started, and then do a live demonstration. Certainly you can ask questions as well. So just to give you a little bit of an idea. So Crystal Knows is a personality AI tool. So basically it was founded about 10 years ago, and it can accurately identify anyone's behavioral patterns. So it takes the information about you from LinkedIn. It doesn't scrape the web from any other social media or anything else. So it's at least 80% accurate. And so that's what we'll see when we go through some of these profiles. It analyzes millions of data points and validated assessments to accurately identify anyone's personality. And it can also look at a resume as well and predict a personality. So with that, the way that you do this and what you need to do is go to crystalknows.com. You can download the Google Chrome extension. You sign up for free. You take the free self-assessment. It'll tell you then what it says your personality is. And then with that information, you can you benchmark yourself against the person that you're looking up when you're in Crystal Knows. You can view anybody's personality by going into the LinkedIn profile. You have to be logged into Crystal Knows first when you click on that person's profile. And then you can go ahead and see what their personality is. It will predict what that is. Now, they don't have to take that assessment. It will automatically say, based on their LinkedIn profile, what that personality is. So that person doesn't even have to take the assessment. So how it works is you get 10 free LinkedIn profiles when you sign up for free. After that, they have an annual fee. They used to have a different payment program, but they got rid of that. And so with that, they want you to now pay an annual fee, and it's like a $49 per month. And you can view 200 profiles. I think that's a bit steep for the job seeker. So I tell you to use your 10 free profiles judiciously, right? So with that, this is the disc map and what it looks like. So upper left quadrant is the driver, the upper right is the influencer, the lower right is a supporter or steady, and the lower left is going to be conscientious. And so with that, I am going to start sharing how it works so that you can see how it is. So let me just go to my profile here and then share my screen. And we're going to take a look first at Walt's profile. So
I protest.
All right, so can everyone see my screen here with Walt's profile? Yes. All right. So Walt is considered on the wheel an IS or an encourager. He's open, he's inventive, he's versatile. He communicates with an expressive and high energy approach. Speak with him with a expressive, colorful language. Pay attention to emotions they're experiencing from the conversation. Here it'll say, don't prioritize cost over short-term emotions of relevant parties, and don't end the call without establishing clear next steps. When you look at the wheel on him, I'm here under the conscientious. He's here on the influential. So we're like opposites on the wheel, right? So I'm sure everybody would be like, wow, how do you communicate with him, right? In here too, if anybody's in any kind of a sales kind of role, account management or sales, you can see here how to sell to Walt. Prospecting, discovery, sales opportunity, proposal, and so forth, which I find fascinating. So then we take this little scroll bar here and go further down. And with this, we'd say, here's his behavior. Feeling comfortable speaking to a new person. Preferring to start a project from scratch. Bouncing between topics in a conversation. Does this sound like you, Walt? Does any
I
of
don't
this sound
bounce
like
that
you?
often.
You don't bounce that often?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
But no, it's pretty much me, yes.
And then writing styles, how to write an email to Walt, include visual aids where possible, keep it lighthearted, make it funny. Walt, does that sound like you?
Well, and yeah, I am the one when you said, do I have to draw you a picture? And I love pictures. And so, yes. But yeah,
Yes.
that does sound like me.
And so here you can always click on the show more. And it says Walt is a gifted communicator who makes occasional gut decisions that seem to be random in nature and prefers big ideas over details. Avoid overloading them with information when reaching out via email. Interesting. So you can find additional information in here. I don't know, Walt, how much of this sounds like you?
Well, yeah.
Nailed it.
All right.
What is cool about this is how other people see you and not how we see ourselves. And so using this is I look at that and say, gee, I do that, or I don't realize that I do that, but that's the way I come across to others. So that's good to know.
Yeah. All right. And then it says here how to drive Walt to take action. So if I need Walt to do something, this is what I would need to do. Create time to freely discuss ideas, encourage them, and engage them in conversation. Right.
Right
and
on.
then, sorry?
Right on.
Right on. All right. Energizers, new
Wait,
friendships.
click on the show more. I need more.
Walt tends to be naturally flexible and social, so they will likely enjoy an opportunity to meet. However, they may forget the specifics of the meeting. They'll follow up the day before to make sure they remember. At the meeting, keep things lighthearted and discuss projects broadly.
My memory's good. It just doesn't last very long.
And then energizers are new friendships, working closely with others and interesting ideas, things that drain Walt. Overly predictable, safe environment, lack of creativity in an environment, and feeling excluded from events. Does this sound like you, Walt?
Okay.
Yes? Okay. When speaking to Walt, talk about abstract philosophies or ideas. Affirm their bright ideas and keep the conversation lighthearted.
Yeah, I'm a lighthearted person.
Yeah.
My goal in life is to have people chill out a little bit, not be so
Yes.
serious.
And then team roles, build social time into the workflow. Don't give them too much repetitive work and avoid being overly critical. And then what it does down here are comparisons. So
Well, the critical part is that part, when I criticize you, that's good, but when you criticize me, that's not good. So
and then down here we have the comparisons. So here you can see risk tolerance versus risk averse, trusting versus skeptical, and it plots Walt on this continuum and it plots me on the continuum. So I can see how close or far I am from him. And as you can see, I'm the opposite. With the exception of the supporting dominant. We're similar in that regard. Everything else, we're the opposite, which is why we're opposite on the wheel. And then you can go ahead and also rate this profile. So this gives you additional insight into Walt if you didn't know him at all, right? Everybody uses LinkedIn to look up people, find what they've done, and what their experience has been. But this gives you more insight into his personality and how you need to interact with him. Now, as the job seeker, when I was first learning about Crystal Knows back in 2020, I thought, wow, this is a really great tool. This would really help me with interviews, right? So it's good to know your interviewer's personality before you interview with them, so you know how to respond to them and what they're expecting. Now, what I had found during 2020 was very insightful. This is quick meeting tips. And when you go in here, it gives you a bunch of different options in the drop down. I need to call Walt or email him so that I can what? You can make a sales pitch, you can negotiate, make a good impression, blah, blah, blah. And then you go further down, convince them to hire you. When I saw this, I said, this is the secret sauce, right? So for Walt's type of personality, if I was interviewing with Walt, I would need to focus on my ability to be creative, point out a mutual connection or interest, offer to meet in person, and express my desire to build relationships. What I shouldn't do is use overly general bland language. Don't focus too much on their problems. Don't dwell too much on my past accomplishments, and don't use an overly serious tone. So this gives me an additional guidance of how I need to interact with him and say, you know what? She's a really creative person. Walt, I'm a quilter. I'm very creative that way, right? Gosh, you and I have so many connections in common, 318. You and I should talk more about our connections and what's going on, right? So you want to take some of this information and use this Crystal Knows tool as a tool in your job search toolkit. I find this very insightful. Now, when I go back up to the personality profile, right? So based on this, Walt, do you think your personality profile is at least 80% accurate?
Oh,
Is it
yes. Oh, yes.
higher or lower
Yeah.
than that?
Creativity is one of my things that I'm trying to increase in my own life. And so I'm very interested in creativity and ideas and people that have those creative things. A person gave me some suggestions the last session about in my email that I send out, how I might change that to be more effective and what I could put in my about section. And I implemented those right away, actually. So he had some really good ideas. So I welcome creativity.
Great. So this is at least 80% accurate for you, right?
Yes.
All right.
And you have to guess the 20% that's not.
So what I would say to everybody is sign up for free. You can take the free self-assessment. You can see how you fit on the DISC personality profiling system, and use this, have this information and use it on only the people you're interviewing with for a job so that you understand how to interview with them. What else they have in here, which again, if you're like more in a sales role, like here it'll tell me how I need to sell to Walt with my personality versus his, and how to prospect, how to book a meeting with him, what his pain points are, and so forth. So I find this very insightful. And then also when you go to here, you can select a template as far as different playbooks. If I want to do demo, if I need to close Walt, he's my prospect and I need to sell him, and what do I need to say to him to close him, right? How to negotiate with him. I've actually used this when I was in a previous role on negotiating with a client. She was really tough, and I used the information that was in this playbook on negotiating with her, and it worked. Account management, how to build rapport with Walt, things that I need to do. And then also
Patty, before you move on,
Yes.
Can you go back to that for just a minute? There was a list of people in there. What is that list for? It included Terry Sullivan.
Oh, probably because I just looked him up recently.
Oh, it has nothing to do with the template?
No, I mean, I could click on it and then
Okay.
it would pull up different, you know, it could pull up then the template for him, right? How I would need to sell to him or whatever.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then under email on here, it has email advice, like how to write to Walt, right? Show excitement or enthusiasm, right? Don't be too formal or specific. In the body, include visual aids when possible. Here's a great graph. Don't sound too specific, right? So this is how to write an email to him. And then call to action, right? So if I wanted to get a call to action, I would say, hey, Walt, how would you feel about trying this out? And let's have a discussion. And then it also gives you other email templates. Again, wow, investor pitch, investor follow-up. So if you're talking about investments, events, invitations, and so forth. So there's a lot in here. Now, I did learn about another AI tool that helps you with emails, but it's only emails. It's not like Crystal knows. And that tool is called lavender.ai. But I find this very useful, in particular for job seekers. Again, I need to call that interviewer and then again, convince them to hire you. I think this is very powerful. And this is how you would know how to interact with Walt, and you go through that. All right. So hopefully this gives you some insight into Walt and how you need to interact with him. Right. So, and to give you another example, I can show my profile, right? So here I am. I'm the analyst in this. I'm under the conscientious, accurate, reserved, rational, how to communicate with me. And as I was going through this, you know, if I looked at all the things in here, I would say this is 95% me. Exactly how you need to interact with me. I find this to be, again, very insightful when I saw this myself, right? And for me, like, you know, you need to address my concerns. You need to have me answer, or you need to answer all of my questions, send additional data. I'm all about the data and accuracy for sure, right? And so all of these things really appeal to me. Yeah, don't use overly emotional language. Don't skip important details because I'll question it. Don't gloss over logistical issues or potential objections, and don't bypass or skip over any of my feedback, questions or concerns, because I will have a lot of questions. I'm the question person. So with that, what we can do is I'm going to stop sharing. And if there are one or two people who would like us to pull up their Krista Knows profile, we can pull that up and then we can see. So if anybody would like to volunteer, you can raise your hand. We can pull up your profile. Etienne. Trey.
Did me last time, but I'll do it again.
Is that you, Etienne? Looks like you.
That is
Yeah.
me.
Then, yep. And then view personality.
I'm not sure why all this is highlighted.
Oh, you just click on a white space, it'll go off then.
I was trying that. There we go.
Okay. So it says, Etienne, you're an influencer, pioneering, adventurous, casual.
I'm not seeing what you're seeing.
Oh, do you see it?
There's a little box.
There's a crystal box in front of it.
Yeah, there we
There
go.
we go. All right, Etienne, does this sound like you? So says you're pioneering, adventurous, casual, how to communicate with you, describe an exciting, unique, and daring vision of the future. So we want to send visual aids like graphics, charts, and images to you and keep the conversation focused and aimed on a specific outcome. What we shouldn't do is overfill the call with lots of analysis and data before setting the high level vision, and don't place focus on outdated procedures over focusing on future possibility. Does that sound like you, Etienne?
Spot on.
Spot on. Look at that. Okay, you can see on the wheel where he is. So you can use that little scroll bar there. Yep. And then you can see where he is versus Walt. So they're next to each other on the influential part of the disc. And then if you scroll further down a bit, we'll go past the sales stages and then we'll go on to behavior. So saying something sarcastic, ignoring existing rules and processes, making decisions quickly with gut instinct. Does this sound like you, Etienne?
Oh man.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Is this right?
yeah, this is really, really weird.
It's weird because it's right? Okay.
Yeah.
Writing styles, how to write an email to Etienne. Invite them to a live conversation, provide a quick, convenient call to action, use emotionally expressive language. Does that sound correct for you?
Oh, absolutely.
How
I
to,
much rather prefer a phone call over an email.
all right. Then how to drive Etienne to take action, encourage them to share their thoughts, send a reminder the day before, and show excitement for the new ideas. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Energizers for you. Storytelling, exploration and discovery, fun and excitement.
Yes.
And then
Absolutely. I like to be entertained.
and then drainers for you. Overly factual, lackluster discussions, using too much caution and feeling micromanaged. Does that sound like you?
It's like you're inside my head, Patty.
Can we do a show more?
That's right. Yeah, do a show more. Etienne is an imaginative, high-level person who tends to feel drained by overly fact-focused discussions that lack excitement. They may become bored and uninterested in discussions that focus too much on the specifics.
That
Is
was
that right?
Yeah, I'm a details guy for sure. Like I like to have the details, but then once we have enough details, I'm ready to like move to a decision or let's keep it going. What's next?
Okay. All right. So again, not everything could be 100%, but Etienne,
Yeah.
if I'm going to ask you for the percentage, like how correct do you think this is?
Yeah,
I'm
I
sure
mean,
it's going to be at least 80%.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. And then scrolling down. So when speaking to you, switch up the subject to keep things interesting, listen to and engage with their personal stories, and project enthusiasm and energy. And then with team roles, meet them at their energy level, create time for group brainstorming sessions, and show passion for your work. Does that
Yes.
sound right?
I
And
did that
then,
quite frequently in my previous role.
and then for comparisons, again, this is comparing Walt versus Etienne. So it's showing on the comparisons where exactly it places you. And you haven't taken this test, right?
Have not.
So this is predicting him based on what's on his LinkedIn profile. So if you could give a percentage figure, 80%, 85%, 90%, 95%, what do you think it is?
This is probably 95%. It's pretty
All
high.
right.
Yeah.
All right. So you're sold that you should sign up for free and use the 10 free
Yeah.
profiles
I've
and
got the
use them on your.
webpage open.
All right.
Patty, doesn't this show that Etienne and I think alike, work alike, do alike?
Correct. And you're both on the I part of that disk profiling system. If you go further up to the disk map, it shows you exactly where you guys sit. And you guys are right next to each other on the wheel.
Walt, you're my brother from another mother, man.
Yes. The problem with us is we don't get enough different ideas. We have the same type of way we work. So we got to be careful.
Yep.
Yeah, we could rule the world together.
So one thing I
Amen.
wanted to show you is once you sign up and you have this and you're like, oh, I want to print this out, save this. So if you scroll up just a little bit, what you'll see here is right there. Stop. It says view full profile. It's in gray. It's under the don't. It's if you scroll a little bit further down, it's right above the word disk map. It says view full profile. And with that, you can download your profile and or the interviewer's profile, I should say, and then you can have that for yourself and keep that, right? So that's what you want to do. Also, so that so it says like you have 5 unique profiles left. So you see what's happening at Waltz. It's keeping count of how many profiles you're looking at. So if you say, okay, I'm done looking at Etienne, there's a little X above the person icon on the left bar there. You need to close that sidebar if you do not want to have it keep counting. I know somebody who forgot to do that. He blew through his 10 profiles like you wouldn't believe. Like, and then what? He had nothing left. He had to then pay, which at the time I think was a monthly fee, but still, be very careful, be judicious. If you're not sure that that thing's going to close, just X out of the tab totally at the top. Just close it. So if you, so you can open it again.
Where do I close it? And here's-
Just click on the ID. Just click on the bar there again where it says ID. Yep. You just click on it. There you go. So now we can pull up the next person. Trey, so were you next in line?
I think so.
Okay. So we can pull up Trey. And Trey?
I'm sorry, I can't top your name, Trey.
There he is. He's the second person down there.
Gotcha.
Hey, Patty, while y'all are doing this, a quick question here. So, you know, everybody has varying degrees of completeness of their profile.
Yes.
And so, you know, you know, some are very thorough and then others are just, you know, skeleton bare bones. To what degree of completeness do you think you need to have in order to get an accurate assessment? Do you have a feel for it?
It has to be, I'd say you have to have at least some stuff in there. I've seen it where it's pulled up for me where it says doesn't have enough information to predict. If somebody just puts their title, and I don't know, nothing else, it has no recommendations, no skills, no nothing else, it's not going to be able to predict it for you.
Right.
But most people have somewhat of a profile built. But if you see like there's nothing in it, it's not going to be able to predict it for you. So that's how complete it is.
So probably take a good look at it before you decide to go
For
with
sure.
it.
There's got to be some meat to it, right? Etienne, did you have a question? No, his hand is just raised. Okay. Trey, you're a driver. Okay. Trey, you're a driver. You're persuasive, determined, independent. So how to work with you, communicate directly and emphasize rapid progress, right? Do use an energetic, assertive tone, speak with high energy and answer questions directly. Don't be overly friendly, be assertive and push back when you need to. Don't give in-depth product descriptions without explaining the bottom line impact. So that's what it's saying, how we need to deal with you. And then as far as the disc map, it's showing you clearly under the D, under dominant. And so that's where you are on the wheel. And then on where it says behavior, driving others to action, immediately projecting assertiveness and confidence, saying something bluntly without details. Trey, does this sound like you?
No, not really.
No?
I mean, parts of it are. I mean, I do think I'm a high D on the disc, so I get that. But I think also I'm more empathetic and tactful in the way that I communicate. I'm not. I mean, I don't think that I'm terribly blunt. I try to. I mean, you get more flies with honey than, you know, carrying the big stick. So I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of difference there from what you think versus what it's saying. Writing styles, be concise and to the point. Avoid being overly detailed and keep the message focused.
I agree with that.
Does that sound like you?
Yes, that does. Yeah.
How to drive trade to take action, prepare for pushback, quickly address the purpose of the meeting and make an effort to meet their goals. Does that sound like what we should expect?
Yeah, could be. Yep.
Energizers, ambitious goals, taking charge and making quick decisions.
No,
Does that sound like you?
No, I'm more of a, I'll make quick decisions if I need to, but I'm a more, let's take into account all of the possibilities and then come up with an optimal solution usually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, further down, it says drainers, deep research and analysis, failing to achieve goals and keeping their opinion to themselves.
Yeah.
No? Yes?
I'm
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what I would suggest you do, Trey, is that you take the free self-assessment.
Right.
And it will peg you where you should be. And if it's vastly different, right, then what it'll do is the next time you look at your profile, it will show you, it would bring up how you took the test.
Okay.
So I rarely encounter people who are polar opposites of what this says. This is pretty accurate in general.
Mhm.
So, did you have anybody help you with your LinkedIn profile at all?
I mean, I worked with Terry Sullivan to, kind of say things and format things properly, but I mean, the content is all me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I found that to be the case sometimes when somebody else is writing the LinkedIn profile.
Yeah.
It can pick up the personality of that person versus you.
Yeah. I mean, it just kind of read my headline on my profile right there. I feel like it totally ignored that. The photo thing right there. Does that sound like the bull in a china shop that it kind of makes me sound like I am? I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't read that. I mean, if we're looking through all of your, so again, it looks through all your recommendations, it looks through all your skills and your work experience,
Yeah.
and it puts you in this bucket, right? So again, like you might say, yeah, Patty, this is like 60% me. Well, I would suggest you take the test, see what it comes out
I'll
at.
definitely do it.
And
Yeah.
if it still comes out as a high D, this still, like I said, in general, not everything's going to fit you to a T, but some of the stuff does fit you.
Yeah. Yes.
It's not like it's a total,
Right.
lots.
Yeah.
It's definitely, it wouldn't have picked up on some of this if it didn't see it in your job description, right? So team roles, stay focused on the bottom line, give them a chance to take charge and always and focus on the team's overall goal, right? And then it has the comparisons between you and Walt.
Yeah, I'm not a bottom line guy. Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's interesting how it's picking that up on you.
It really, I don't know. I think it's focusing. I have no idea because I'm a people first guy, and we can talk about the other stuff after we talk about our people. So
yeah,
it's interesting.
Interesting. All right. So let's just scroll down through his profile a little bit, Walt. I want to just see a couple of things. Let's scroll down to his experience. Sorry, in his actual profile.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. And let's scroll down a little bit more. Let's go click on the see more. I'm just wanting to look at, just pick the first see more. That's right. You can just click on that first see more under his description.
Right there.
Oh, that's
no.
kind of my open to work one.
Oh, then let's
yeah,
go to the
next
one.
one probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So yeah, Trey, I would suggest that you take the self-assessment and see what it comes up with.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
see if you're
I'll do
very
that.
different from this D or dominant or driver. And let's scroll down to recommendations. Okay. And let's see how many of you received.
I even read the first one. Trey is people focused, all that. I feel like it missed all that.
Yeah, interesting. So again, take the self-assessment and let me know what it says. And if you're not a D, if it's putting you at the opposite end of the wheel, that can happen too,
Yeah, I
right?
mean, I've always, when I've done the disc, I'm a D, but I usually the descriptors are different that go along with that, and
Mm-hmm.
that's where it seems to be missing the mark.
Well, that's where you could Walt can download the view full profile and it'll give all the other detail behind it.
Right.
And that's where it
Yeah.
could send it to you. But either way, I would suggest you take the self-assessment and see what it says. And then but this is how people would view you if they looked at your profile today.
I have a
So
question for Trey.
Mhm.
If you were to say, here's the percentage of language or words or whatever changed from Terry Sullivan, how much did your profile change based on his suggestions?
Oh, not anything. It was more about, you know, formatting and the way it looked more so than any of the content. We
Okay.
really didn't change content. Yeah.
So
okay.
it didn't, we don't see a lot of Terry influence in your profiles. but-
Yeah, I think he was pretty pleased with it when we went over it.
Okay.
For the most part. Yeah.
Okay. Well, again, not everything can be 100% accurate, right? They say if we said this, you could say it's mostly inaccurate, probably, if you had to look at this. But you can go ahead and take the test, see what comes up, and see if it actually, if you actually come up with something different or somewhere else under the wheel, right?
Right.
Maybe you're not a driver. Maybe you're the next level over. And so more towards the I you could be versus the actual D. So,
And
all
Trey, it
right.
doesn't have anything to do with the fact that you're an Aggie. That is not part of the assessment.
Yeah, I'm an Aggie attorney, so I get all the jokes.
Oh my goodness.
All right. So anyway, so that's what I wanted to show everybody today was Crystal Knows. And again, I find it to be useful. I encourage you to take the self-assessment, sign up for free. You get your 10 free LinkedIn profiles. And then if you have any other questions, you can let me know.
Hey,
All right.
Great presentation, Patty. Really cool. Thank
Yeah.
you.
You know, I'm really
You're welcome.
amazed at the amount of detail that shows. You're getting a nice applause here in the room, Patty, for your words today, and how this tool can really be effective and use it wisely, like you were saying. And you know, you can treat it all with generalities. I mean, if you look at me and you say, you know, how would I describe Walt in 2 or 3 words, I think you could get a gist of that very easily from all the details that's given. And I'm a detailed guy at points, but there's, you know, the report is too much information for me. I need to know all of that. There's a lot of details. However, when you're getting into the specific things, particularly, you know, how to close, how to sell, how to do that I think some parts of it are absolutely excellent and great to look at. So thank you so much, Patty. And y'all, if y'all have questions, you can certainly contact Patty. You can also, there'll be some information in the chat window that when Matt sends out the follow-up, he includes the chat part as well, so that you'll see that information.
Would you take questions today?
Pardon?
Would you take questions for the group?
Yeah, you want questions now? Yes. Okay, you have a question, Phil? Get your microphone.
Thank you, Jana.
She asked a lot of questions, so she gets them back too.
Oh, I have a question, you got as well. Hi, it's Phil. Excuse me, I already have a question and a follow-on for today. The question is, who will be able to keep my data and how will they use it? That's one. The other follow-on for today is you took some people that we know that are good people. What would Crystal Knows have to say about people who are not very nice? And my example came to mind is Elon Musk. He's known as being very hardcore to keep it nice. But I wonder, in contrast with the nice folks that we already reviewed today in your examples, how that would come. Those are my questions. Thank you.
So if you want to know about data privacy and everything else, they would have that information on the Crystal Knows website.
Okay.
But everybody has their information out there, right? So.
And out there is what I want to understand more about.
You should look at Crystal Knows website and you'll be able to find information on it there. Otherwise, you can also send them an email.
Nothing is monetizable worth any money to anybody else, but privacy is something that I really want to try to avoid giving up voluntarily. What about the other side of it? Do you think you can give us an example of somebody who's known as a not nice person and what Crystal Knows would say about that person? Just for contrast.
It's not looking at a nice person versus a not nice person. It's looking at what you have in your LinkedIn profile. Right? So what do you have in your LinkedIn profile? If Elon Musk has in his LinkedIn profile that he's, you know, a starter, he's this and that, he could be considered an I or influential. I'm guessing that's where he falls on the wheel, but it's not going to be based on, is he a nice person or is he a not nice person? Right? And that's, we all see his actions and perceptions, but it's based on what's in your LinkedIn profile. That stuff is not going to be in his LinkedIn profile. So it's not going to pick up on that. Does that make sense?
It does make sense. My question is just how Crystal Knows to report findings on his profile in contrast to what we've already seen.
Yeah, I guess I don't know the answer to your question. And if you have other questions, you can ask them of Crystal Knows.
This is Peter Watson. This is a comment which maybe everybody's already thought of, but I'm not going to state in the obvious. Any job you apply for can apply Crystal Knows to your profile and decide whether they like it and want to proceed or suspension.
Yep.
Yep, can work in reverse.
And just so that everybody's clear, companies are using different assessment tools on you. You're taking whatever test, you're doing all that, they're getting all that information on you as well, right? So they have their own personality assessment tools, and do they think that you will be a cultural fit? And some people I know are taking lots of big kinds of personality tests for them. Matt, I think you said you had to take one of those tests, right? And then you were able to reuse it again?
Yeah, I took a predictive index, and then another company wanted me to take predictive index, and I told them I'd taken it recently, and so they took the results of the first one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So companies have their own tests that they're giving you as well to look for the fit.
I'm a controller according to predictive index.
Does that sound like you, Matt?
I guess my wife would agree.
All right.
Well, these personality tests, they don't test our home personality, our church personality, our driving personality, and our work personality. You know, we like all that to be the same person, but it's a little different from situations.
That's true.
Yep.
Did you have a question, Jason?
I had my.
Okay, facilitate. Thank you. Anyone else have a question for Patty? Oh, James.
Patty, so if I so if I took the free assessment and then I changed my LinkedIn profile after consulting with a number of people, should I try and look at it again? I mean, what do you think? Will it change that much?
I wouldn't think that it would. Because if you're just making some minor, I mean, you're still the core person with the same experience, unless you're doing something totally opposite of what you had, I guess. And I wouldn't say it would pick up on whatever your personality is from you taking that self-assessment. I don't think you need to take it a second time.
As long as I didn't change any major content, right? Like 50% of all the words in my LinkedIn profile or something, right?
Yeah, I mean, and
It's
you
the
haven't
same.
changed your experience. I mean, if you
Nope,
said,
did not. Yeah.
if I'm like a teacher now and you were a CEO, it's like different.
Okay.
You know, so no, it would not make a difference in my opinion.
Okay, good. Thank you.
It would be interesting to know when they claim a huge number of data points that they look at. And I would be curious to know. You know, it's kind of like the ATS system or the recruiter, you know, they look at the top quarter of your resume, or, you know, and they put it in. I think the ATS systems put more weight on the top part rather than middle or the bottom part, you know, how they rate and do things. Be interesting to know when they say, I don't know, what do they say, millions of data points? Or can't remember what the number is, but it's huge. And I said, well, you know, how detailed does it really go? How does that indicate? Does sentence structure, word choice, you know, if I change the sentence around, how much would that affect, you know, an assessment, et cetera? So, because we're learning in our resumes how to say things better. And that's not what we would normally say. We would start out with, oh, I have to say led with, or I have to put accomplishment in there first and then second, right? We may not do it that way ourselves. And so how much of that is really coming across it would be an interesting question. And I think that's where maybe the 80% part comes in. It says, yeah, it's not all going to be, you know, to that fine of a detail. But it is very amazing, I think, as to how much it does describe. And in the past, when you've given these presentations, Patty, and just about everybody that tries it out, I think Trey is the only person I've seen that came in that, you know, didn't fit it as well as other people. So it's largely successful in predicting that.
For sure.
So, you know,
yep.
Other questions?
This is Phil again. Those of us who've done volunteering and helping people with networking groups for a long time have heard a lot of folks come and go with their opinions about how LinkedIn profile should be done. Those of us who've been around a long time, I remember a guy named Dirk Spencer, who was extremely focused and blunt with whatever he had to say. I remember that a lot of the guidance we've had over the years, going back to him, included, if anything is not totally focused and fact-based, it's called fluff. Don't put fluff in your LinkedIn profile. I guess until I check it out myself, I won't be able to see an example of how it will take these serious factual entries into LinkedIn and convert that to communication style, that they're all just fact. Any ideas about that? Any comments?
Well, let me ask you a question, Phil. Do you think, you know, most people propose, or a lot of people propose different things on resumes. One of mine is, don't tell how you did anything in a resume. You don't say, I did this by, and talking about the action you took. You know, so I leave that to the interview. So you think that if I put in how I did something, that would be called fluff?
I agree with what you said. I do not think it would be called fluff.
Okay.
I think fluff includes more emotional, more right brain types of things other than just hard facts. You're right. The method of doing something, the how, is not appropriate for a quick summary. And if somebody wants to know about that, then either a resume or an interview would be the best place to do that. But that's not what I think would be considered fluff.
I'm interested in what an example of fluff might be. I'm not sure what fluff would be.
I'm having a hard time pulling it up right now myself. But,
Steve, you have a
maybe
comment?
somebody
Get the microphone, so everybody can hear you. He's anxious to tell us his comment here.
Well, I see these in the introductions and it'll say, strong people-centered servant leader, you see those and you're always checked out just reading it. And it doesn't matter what it says if the person who's reading is checked out and looking for actual, like, who are you? Like, really? Like, get past all the fluff. It's not helping you. So I've seen that a lot, give feedback like, don't do that.
I guess it depends on who's reading it, because I don't see that as being fluff in some cases, because there are people who are, I read a job description that actually had the word servant leader in there. So I guess it depends on who's reading.
Well, the point is that
if you're saying, these qualities about yourself that anybody can say, there's no facts to back it up, then, it's fluff. So, because anybody can say it, they just literally copy and paste it. As a matter of fact, there's a lot of copying and pasting from the job description, and it's like, okay, what in this is actually you and just not copied. So.
Well, we got varied opinions. Of course, if it's listed on the job description, it probably wouldn't be considered fluff in that degree. But if you're just saying the standard things that try to just say, hey, I'm this kind of person, and you put a whole lot of information in there about that, maybe it could be too much of that. Just put down the essentials. What is it that drives you? What is it that motivates you? What kind of person? Your top two characteristics, I'd love to see those in there. I'm profit line oriented or profit driven, people driven, whatever it might be. So
Hey Patty, it's Jana. So you've been doing this a long time. This is great, interesting, I'm a learner input, so wow, I'm just, on steroids looking at stuff. However, let's talk about practical, because you have used this in the interview process. So take us through, you've got an interview coming up and you're going to activate Crystal Knows. How do you prep using this information? Can you give us an example of how you've used it?
Yep. So what I do is I download the full profile. And so I have all the information and I have that printed out, and then I look at the things I need to say to convince them to hire me, the do's and the don'ts. And so I make sure that I express those kinds of things when I'm in the interview with them. So I know what kind of questions or what that person's personality is going to be like when they interview me. So if they're a D, I've got to be straight to the facts. How much did I do in sales, et cetera, et cetera. If they're more of a chatty person, I can talk about some other stuff that's more chatty. If they want more creativity, I can talk more about that, right? So you have to tailor your responses a bit to their personality and make yourself likable in the interview.
So do you adjust your star stories to make it more results focused up front versus people-centric? Like if you were being interviewed by Walt, how would your responses look like? Or Trey? Does that make sense?
Walt is the opposite of me. So I would not go into the detail, right? And I'm a very detailed person. So I can talk about, here's the detail of what I did. I would say, here's how I created something. And this is what my idea was with that, right? So I have a variety of star stories. I have at least 25 or 30 of them. So I suggest you have multiple star stories for multiple situations, so that you're able to then pivot a bit to that person's personality. So again, with the D people, I'm a numbers person too. I get right into, I increased sales by 21%. I did this, I did this. Like you can do that very easily with a D person. But with others, you have to approach it a different way.
You've been interviewed by panels and then you look at all their profiles?
I do.
Okay. So great on Zoom, because then I'd have all this extra, like on another monitor, I can pull everything up. How do you do it in person?
Well, when you do it in person, you have all the information in front of you that you would have had to review the night before.
So maybe
I
just
don't have
making it,
multiple screens, so I have it printed out and I'm
Ah.
able to say, all right, this is the person I need to think about. When I'm talking to this person, they're more results oriented. When I'm talking to this person, they want to hear more of my process and creativity. Right? So when you are preparing for that in-person interview, I definitely suggest you review it, you know, that morning of the interview or the evening before, so that you know, like, all right, that person's more like this person's more like this.
like thinking of all the notes I would take. So I might, if Trey was interviewing me, I might put D for dominant next to him to remember my stories have to do this. Or, you know, put a little ticker for the way I would communicate with Walt or Matt. So I'm really looking at just the practicality of doing this. How long does it take for you when you typically prep using this tool?
How long does it take for me to just print out the information and look at it?
And then do your research typically? So is it like an hour or so, or?
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least an hour, right? Because you're looking at their website. I'm using Copilot as my AI tool to ask other questions and how to prepare. And I have my whole list of star stories and everything else, which everybody should have multiple star stories that they're able to tell.
I think that'd be interesting if you could feed Copilot, ChatGPT, Perplexity, you know, the disc profile and say, give me an example of how to turn this star story with this focus. That might be an interesting use. I didn't think about using with AI. So thanks for the information.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just a comment about me on details. I love the details that I want to know. So don't just start spouting them out. Let me ask for them. And that's the difference. So start this, if I want to know more about it. But if you want to just get into this long list of things, that won't be as advantageous as stuff. Let me choose the details I want.
Right. Follow the lead of the interviewer.
Right.
Right. And what questions that they want to ask and where they want more detail. And then you can tailor your responses to that.
Yeah, general rule is start with brevity, let them ask for more information.
Mm-hmm.
Just a comment too is this is not a personality inventory thing, but Henry Jordan at Southlake, the one time I've not seen him talk about this regularly, but at one time I was in his room and he talked about how to, from a sales guy's perspective, how to like quickly on the fly kind of get a sense of how to talk to somebody. And anybody seen that presentation? So there'll be like little clues that tell you, I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me. I was looking to see if I had a picture and I can't find anything. But so, like, there's clues that like, just in terms of like what they have in front of them and, you know, what they're talking about, how they're behaving, like you can get a sense of that they appreciate someone who's, you know, that talks about being prepared, like being prepared for, you know, problems and risk averse kind of personality or this kind of, so he had like all these, like, I don't know, 10 different personalities and the different clues you could have to kind of figure out which one they are. And you can cater your conversation to that person based off what you assess from the clues. So this is obviously like some sales technique that I was, you know, that other sales guys have been familiar with. I got the impression that you have to learn it and then practice it. And then you can kind of do it on the fly like a sales guy would do it. So I just thought that was interesting.
Is that where emotional intelligence might fit in? You know, the ability to read others, understand, and do it. And he's got one on how to do it quicker.
I just thought that was really neat.
Something like that. Okay. Any other questions? All right, let's wrap it up then. Thank you so much, Patty. Good engagement, good questions by the group. I think we've all learned something today that this may be useful for us to use. I would suggest to try it out. You get free ones. The last I looked, Patty, I had 5. I don't know whether I had 5 total or 5 left, but maybe I had. So I
think you have
was hoping
3
that
left
everybody
now or something.
gets 10 anyway. I'd suggest you might want to try it out. Everybody likes to try it out generally on themselves because when you sign in, you get a free one for yourself.
Well, once
that
you
might
do
be
the
helpful.
self-assessment, you will get your own.
Right.
So you don't have to click on yourself in the profile and open it
Right.
up because you'll already know what you are.
Yes, it automatically puts one right there for you. So you might take a look at that, see if that gives you some insight.
Oh, just a little heads up.
Yes, Steve.
Make sure you do your assessment of yourself and don't click on yourself because I accidentally used one of my free ones.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You get your self-assessment. You don't need to click on yourself and open the sidebar
Right.
because you will be using a profile.
Yep. Okay. Good information. Thank you so much. So let's talk a little bit more about this before we close out today. The career.dfw.org website for any new job seeker. If anybody's new in the process, the first thing I tell them is to go to this website. Go to careerfw.org. It has so much information to help job seekers. Jeff has founded that, put all that together, and was maintaining all of that. And so it's not been maintained a lot, but there's still a lot of good information that's out there. Some of the meetings may have changed, whatever. But I would definitely have you go peruse. I would say spend an hour looking at what Career W has in it and look at all the different things that it makes available to us. Okay. One of the things it does is it has a calendar. And again, the calendar, it has all the DFW area networking groups and job groups and support groups that are helping job seekers. And there on the calendar, it's got them color coded into different types. So you've got quite a bit of information. There's a couple of ways you can look at it. This is like a calendar view, and this is like an agenda view, so that you can look at it and say, okay, here's what's happened on Thursday, and it's got all those, you can scroll to find, different things. You click on one of those, and it'll generally give you a contact where to go for further information, links, etc. So if you're interested in saying, what meetings might I want to go to, how I might want to choose, this is one way to do it. I would also ask people that have been in job search a while, what meetings do you go to? What's interesting to you? What do you think they do? What's, to help you choose that. Because I don't suggest that you go to a meeting every day. You want to pick maybe 2 or 3 with other groups to do that. But that's available out there. Also on the USA YouTube channel, Career USA YouTube channel, there's videos that have been recorded and posted out on YouTube channel. When you get there, you would click on playlist, and this is what it would show. And so Jeff has categorized these into different ones. He has one for the Tuesdays on LinkedIn. He's got one on networking. Now we haven't done any networking ones and resume ones lately. Those no volunteers have come forward to help lead a group like that. That's done usually on Thursdays. But there are some recorded videos out there under the networking situation. There's a career transition workshop from Frisco. They do a semi-annual, sometimes have guest speakers come in on a lot of different topics. So there's videos on that. Then there's the Career DFW and Career USA Oregon career tips side. There's an interviewing side. And then there's at the bottom on the left, you see the North Dallas Plano Career Focus Group. Have the videos that are set there. So if you click on that, you will get these all these items that come up. If you click on the picture, it'll start playing a video. So you click on playlist, then you can scroll through this to say what topic would I like to hear and see a video about. So they're out there for us as well. So what's coming up next week on LinkedIn? Do I have it right? It is going to be Locke, Patty.
That's correct. Locke will be my guest.
Yeah. So Patty is volunteered to lead the LinkedIn Tuesday group. Thank you so much, Patty, for helping us with that. But Locke's going to give it. She has several speakers that she uses round robin, and you get different perspectives. I encourage you to listen to every one of them because they come across differently. Terry is well known for his views on LinkedIn, and he makes a living with that. His session is not recorded, but I will tell you, Terry's style of presentation is fire hose. I mean, he goes at it. So he goes warm up, but he offers some things that's different. So when you get to, be sure you watch all 4 of them is my message to you. So we have the pit crew on Wednesdays. It'll be on site that you can watch the interview. If you would like to be a candidate for pit crew, send your go to www.dallaspitcrew.com. You can find out all the information about it and how to submit your resume and job description. For both the workshop and the pit crew, we are scheduling far out now. We're booked quite a bit far, so sign up now. All right. The pit crew's motto is practice early, practice often. You just don't learn it in one session. So come back and sign up for multiple sessions to practice that. So that'll be held here at the church in Plano at that address that you see on the screen. Now, the church here sent me some information yesterday. So at Christ United Methodist Church here in Plano, they're going to have a job fair, and it's going to be on the 21st from 10 to 2. All right, here. And at the bottom, and I can't quite read it. It's kind of in white, but it says, you might win in a drawing to win 1 month paid rent and utilities. All right. So, the odds of winning the lottery are pretty high. The odds of winning this are probably in our favor. And so you might want to come by the church on Saturday, September 21st for that event. So upcoming sessions for Friday is next Friday. We're going to have Rusty Wright. Some of you may have seen his presentation. Has a lot of good things, some handouts, some information, teaches us about prompts and how to use ChatGPT, for job search. Then for the next 2 weeks, we did a little poll and people said, Matt, you gave that tips and tricks, 2 weeks of worth of data and information and engagement. So we want you to come back and do it again. So we've scheduled Matt to come back on the 30th and on the 6th. I will tell you that I want to listen to it again because I learned a few things, but I missed a few things. And I would love to go back through it and say, oh yeah. One of the interesting things I learned that helped me great is that I can do copy something, copy A, copy B, copy C. Then I can go to a document and I hit the Apple, the Windows, and the V, and it lets me choose what I've copied. They all come up. And so, well, paste this one, then paste this one. And I don't have to go copy, back, paste, copy, back, paste. I just do it all at once. Helps me a great deal. So that was a great, easy, simple, practical tip that helped me. So thank you for joining us today. I want you to have a great week. Do not get too hot. Stay cool in that, and we'll see you next Friday.
Thank you, Walt.
Oh, where are we going to eat? I forgot to tell you where we're going to eat. We're going to Mama's Pizza today. All right. If you are out there and want to join us, just drive on in. Come in. How many people are going to go to Mama's Pizza today? All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. We need to prepare move tables around for at least 8 people at Mama's Pizza. All right. Great. See you, everyone. God bless you.
Have a great lunch. Thanks
Patty.
everybody. Bye-bye.
Fantastic presentation.
Thanks.
Funny story.